Hi everyone, and welcome to the Grumpy Meeple. This is my new YouTube channel that I decided to start so that I can talk about the kind of nerd topics that I'm interested in with people who might actually give a crap instead of my poor wife and my young children, none of whom want to hear about this stuff. And also just so I can start kind of airing some of my grievances without picking fights with personal friends on Facebook Messenger and such. And also, we're just going to be talking about a lot of different stuff. I'm going to be doing reviews, I'm going to be doing Kickstarters that I'm interested in, previews and such, and covering a lot of content that I just don't think gets covered enough, like Shadows of Brimstone is something that I plan to cover quite a bit. And in particular, the hex crawl system for Shadows of Brimstone. But since the channel is called The Grumpy Meeple, I thought I should kick it off with a grumpy video. And so this is going to be my top 3 things that annoy me about the X-Men United Kickstarter from Simon. Just to clarify, I love this Kickstarter. I'm totally backing this all in. I love the X-Men way more than I love Marvel, kind of more generally. I didn't back Marvel United because I was annoyed at that time by the fact that they didn't have any gameplay video to show and just wasn't sold on the premise of the game. But having played it now, it is decent for what it is, and the miniatures are amazing. And I love the X-Men and always have, basically. And so when I heard they were doing an X-Men version of it, I was all in from the get-go, basically. But there are a couple of things that annoy me about this campaign, and so we're going to get into it right now. So the first thing that annoys me about this campaign, we're going to scroll past all this amazing stuff, and we are going to scroll all the way down to here. The plastic token set. This just annoys the crap out of me because it's $40, and the reason it's $40 is because there are 250 tokens included because it covers both the X-Men and the classic line of Marvel United. This isn't a huge deal because I can and will simply buy this and rip out the classic stuff and sell it. But I would have much preferred if they had just had a $20 pledge or add-on for the X-Men campaign and an additional $20 add-on for the Classics campaign. So that's the number one thing. Not a huge deal, but a little bit annoying, and I am the Grumpy Meeple, so something makes me grumpy, I'm going to bring it up. The second thing that annoys me is actually right here. Here we go. The Phoenix 5. Who the hell was asking for the Phoenix 5 as an add-on expansion? I love X-Men. I've read Avengers vs. X-Men. I'm familiar with the storyline behind the Phoenix 5 and all that. And I just don't know how out of 70 years of X-Men lore, this pairing kind of made sense as, oh yeah, we should definitely make an expansion based off of that kind of middling subpar story from the late 2000s or whatever it was. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. All these other characters are already in the game with the exception of Hope. I don't mind the alternate sculpts, and I don't mind having 3 or 4 different versions of, Namor or Magic or whatever. I just think thematically this one is just kind of crap because the story was kind of crap. And there are a lot of really awesome stories that they could have chosen instead of this. So, the campaign hasn't ended yet. It's possible that they'll end up, and I suspect that they will end up including a Dark Phoenix expansion which is probably the most famous, of all the X stories. And it would just be criminal if they overlooked that. But still annoyed by the fact that I kind of have to buy the Phoenix 5 to get, I'll get it with my all-in. And the third, final, and by far the most annoying thing about this expansion is just the whole premise behind the versus mode that comes with the blue and gold team expansions. I just kind of hate everything about this. So, right off the bat, thematically, this is stupid. They're talking here about how the X-Men are constantly bickering and competing. There's some truth to that, but the premise of this expansion is that they're competing with each other to save the day, essentially. If you watch this trailer, that becomes abundantly clear. And that is just the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. It's the dumbest spin on the X-Men that I've ever heard. Point me to an X comic where the gold team and the blue team were fighting each other to have the honor of beating up Mr. Sinister. Doesn't make any sense at all. It's just a dumb idea, and it's just thematically dumb. I have no problem with the gameplay system. I have a problem with it thematically because I'm a huge X-Men fan, and this whole game is theme. I mean, look at it. The entire game is the theme. And so if you screw the theme up by including dumb stuff like the Phoenix 5 or dumb stuff like, hey, the X-Men are constantly beating each other up so that they can be the hero, it's just a miss for me. And it would have been so easy to make this thematic. You could have set it in the danger room. Could have just said, oh, they're in the danger room and they're fighting each other to train. You could, if you're going to include the Phoenix 5, why not include Avengers vs. X-Men? Then, not only are you kind of creating a better platform thematically to launch this team versus team mode, but you would also be rewarding all the backers of the first game. So just across the board, dumb way to put this into the game. Don't love that the components are duplicated either. They better have different cards in each set or I will be super pissed. Because you're buying, these dashboards, these bases, most of the tokens, you're buying them twice if you're backing the Kickstarter. And also the fact that they mixed this system in with all of, the most recognizable, most obviously kind of, holy shit, I have to have Gambit and, Colossus and Archangel. So the fact that they FOMO'd you into buying this extra set, just in general, not a fan of it across the board. I wish what they should have done is break this stupid team versus team mode out and make it a stretch goal so that they weren't duplicating it. And it doesn't have to be Kickstarter exclusive. You can find some way to launch it in the future. I think the whole thing is Kickstarter exclusive to some extent, but it's a little unclear. Marvel United didn't end up having a retail launch, or at least the expansions didn't. So it's unclear if it's all Kickstarter exclusive or part of it is. I don't care either way. I don't want to buy this stuff twice. I especially don't want to buy it in a hackneyed, bolted on, craptastic, thematically idiotic version. So whoever came up with this idea at CMON, shame on you, kick your own ass, and then slap the danger room onto this so that it's at least not patently idiotic. So yeah, that's it. That is my top 3 most annoying things about the X-Men United campaign. Like I said, I love this campaign. I'm backing it all in. This stuff looks amazing. The stretch goals look amazing. They just added anti-hero Apocalypse today. Anybody who thinks that Apocalypse isn't a hero is a dumbass who hasn't read a comic book that's come out in the last 10 years. Because Krakoa is for all mutants, baby, okay? And that includes APOC. And he is a hero right now. And if you don't like that, go drown yourself. The Sentinel expansion is mind-bogglingly awesome. Like, I can't even believe how awesome the Sentinel expansion is. Days of Future Past, just one of the all-time great X stories. And they really did it. It looks like they really did it proper with this just unbelievable Sentinel grouping. It seems like the one Sentinel can actually even hold your hero and kind of hold it down in his hand, which is awesome. The Deadpool expansion, great. Love Deadpool. Didn't really look into it that much because I love Deadpool and it's not a complicated thing for me. I don't need to like dig into what comes in it. Blue Team, Gold Team, like I said, rip the dumb team versus team stuff out of there. First Class, I'm kind of neutral on, whatever. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver as villains, I could take them or leave them. I wish that this was more themed around the... I think that the First Class getting pulled into the current timeline that they did a few years ago is more interesting than First Class in and of itself, like back in the day. But whatever, it's fine. Phoenix 5, take it or leave it. I will be getting the cardboard locations, the playmat, the tokens. And then, of course, the Apocalypse expansion. I think it looks great. I've seen people talking about how they don't think it has the same value as the Infinity Gauntlet. I think anybody who backed that game will tell you that that gauntlet was trash. It looks like a goddamn baking tin. It's throwaway trash. And so, other than that, there's nothing in that expansion that isn't here. Same thing with the X-Force expansion being the add-on instead of the Black Panther. The only difference is this X-Force expansion is 10 times cooler than the Black Panther expansion because fucking X-Force is dope. Cannonball, Domino, Shatterstar. Come on, is he gonna do that dumb thing where he can like sing and make metal blow up? That'd be amazing. And Cable. Only problem I have with Cable is his gun should be 3 times bigger, and he should have like 15 of them, just strapped onto his back. But I'll take it. He looks awesome, and X-Force is awesome, and I'm so glad that they're kind of doing it proper. So yeah, those are my thoughts on X-Men United. I guess leave a comment. Let me know. What do you think? Do you agree, disagree? Like I said, part of the idea here is to get feedback from people that I don't directly know so that I don't ruin any friendships when I say this dumb stuff or piss people off that I actually am interacting with regularly. So let's get into it in the comments. Let's see what happens. Or maybe nobody will watch this and this will be a one-time deal. But I downloaded software to be able to capture this stuff, so I'm going to do it at least twice. So, but we'll see where it goes. All right. Thank you. Talk to you later.